All right, guys, we're going to continue on with our hanger math, but like we know in math, it always builds on itself. So if you take a look at this problem that we're going to go over today, this one's a little bit trickier, a little more complex than what we've done before. So you guys really need to understand how to perform these hanger math problems so you can be successful with this. Let's go ahead and get into this problem today. So this says this hanger right here, this whole thing is going to add up to 60. So remember, we know that this side has to balance out with this side. So this side is all one together, okay? And then this side is all one together. So this side and this side are going to be balancing out this hanger to equal 60. So remember, this is one half of the side, this is one half of the side. So half of 60 is 30. So we know that this side is going to represent 30. And we also know that this side is going to represent 30. So before we get into anything, we need to figure out, well, we know that both of these sides are going to be 30. We know that this one, we can actually kind of write 30 up here because we know that this hanger is going to be balanced out to be 30 as well. And so if we take it a step further, pretend that this isn't even here and we're just going to focus on this one hanger right here. Remember now, in the big picture, this side plus this side in the purple, these have to be 30, right? But now let's get into this hanger. So it's going to be this side plus this side. So this side plus that side equals 30. And half of 30 is 15. So we know that this is going to be 15, even out to 15. And this is going to be even out to 15. Okay? Now that we know that, we can go ahead and start solving problems. We know that this one right here, the little upside down triangle, represents 1 because it says 1 inside of it. So if we take this one, we can figure this one out right here. If we take this one, we know that that represents 1. Well, 15 minus 1 is 14. And now we have these two x's. 14 divided by 2 is 7. So if this equals 7 and this equals 7, that's 14 plus 1 equals 15. So we can go ahead and conclude that these little diamonds or x's are going to be 7. Now that we know that, we can go ahead and plug that in right here. We know that this one is going to be 7. And if we subtract 15 from 7, we can go ahead and figure that out. So 7 minus 15 is 8. We've got these two right here. These two circles are y's. 8 divided by 2, because we have 2 of them, is 4. We can go ahead and conclude that the y is going to be 4. And if we add that together, so 7 plus 4 is 11 plus 4 is 15. Both of these sides balance out. But wait, now we need to figure out this side. So we know that these sides balance out. We were able to figure out what each shape or what each variable was. We know that this side had to be 30. Now this side has to be 30. So if x is 7, that means we plug it in. 7, 7, 7, 7, and then we have these two ones up here. This should equal 30 if we did this side correctly. So 7 plus 7 is 14, plus 7 is 21, plus 7 is 28, 29, and 30. So we were able to solve and find these variables. But wait, we're going to go ahead and write an expression for these variables. So if I want to write an equation, not an expression, I'm going to go ahead and write x plus 1, so coming on this side, x plus 1 plus x, and we're going to put that in kind of a little parentheses, plus this side of the equation, y plus x. We can go ahead and put that like that, equals x plus x plus x plus x plus 1 plus 1. So x plus x plus x plus x plus 1 plus 1. Okay, so this could be an equation for this side plus this side, or this side, these two together equals this side. So it's the same, 30 and 30, all right? So this This equation is written using the associative property, okay? I'm going to actually go ahead and write that out. You guys should write this out too. Associative property is when you can group with or without parentheses, okay? So if you look at this equation up here, this was written using our associative property, and this equation represents this hanger right here. The next step that we can do is we can combine like terms. So if I look at this equation, I can go ahead and combine the like terms. So remember, this side, even though it was kind of split into two, this side equals 1. So I'm going to go ahead and take this whole side right here, and I'm going to combine my like terms. If I look at that, I'm going to add all of my x's together. I have 1, 2, and 3. So combining like terms, x plus x plus x, because I had 3 of them, right? Now I can add the just the 1. All I had was just 1 right there. And then I can combine the y's. I have 2 y's. So x plus x plus x plus 1 plus y equals this side. So we had x plus x plus x plus x plus 1 plus 1. That looks like a plus plus, so we're gonna fix that. Okay? So remember, this is combining the like terms. These problems right here were the same. Even though they were separate sides, this represents one side of the whole hanger that we're doing, okay? After that, when we have repeated addition, so when anything repeats itself, we can write this down as a multiplication problem. So repeated addition becomes multiplication, and we can do that. So look here, we have 1, 2, and 3 x's. These are all adding together. So what we can do is we can write this as 3 times x, okay? And I'm gonna put this in parentheses. That kind of knocks this out. I've already got that part done. Plus 1, I'm gonna bring that 1 down. Plus, and how many y's do I have? I have 2 y's right here. So I'm gonna put 2 times y equals, and we can do the same for this side. 1, 2, 3, 4 x's. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I can do 4 times x plus, I have 2 1's right here. So I can do 2 times 1. Now this problem can be written out even smaller. This time, we can write using the coefficient. So coefficient, let me go ahead and write that for you. This word, it looks like this. And what the coefficient tells us, they're just problems that look like this. You guys have seen problems like this in math before. When it has 2, a number, and the variable right next to it, that just means multiply, right? So if I say 2b, that means you're going to multiply 2 times b. And then if I take it a step further and say b equals 3, that means you're going to do 2b, 2 times 3, okay? So remember that. You're going to now take this problem that we wrote up here and write it using coefficients. So we have 3 times x, but you don't have to write it 3 times x. You can just put 3x plus 1 plus 2y, okay, equals 4x plus 2. So you don't have to write 2 times 1 again. You can just do plus 2. And this will give you an easier, simplified way to show multiplication with a variable when you use that coefficient. All right, you guys, so problem number 2, same thing that we did earlier when this one was 60, but now we have 20 up here. So remember, this whole thing right here represents one side of the hanger, and then this whole thing right here represents the other side of the hanger. So we know that each half has to be balanced. So half of 20 is 10. We know that this side is going to need to be 10, and this side is going to need to be 10, okay? This side is practically already written for us because it's 2. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Z equals 2, that's 10 right here, okay? Now let's go ahead and figure out what this side is, okay? Remember, now we know that this side is 10, so I can actually take that down and write 10 right here because I know that these two sides, when added together, equal 10. So it's not going to be 10 on this side and 10 on that side. This side is going to have to need to be 5, and this side is going to need to be 5, okay? So if we already found the answer for this one, which was 2, we can go ahead and find x pretty easily, okay? 2 plus 2 is 4, minus 5 is 1. So we know that the circle is 1, or the x. And then over here, same thing, we were able to find that z was 2, so 5 minus 2 is 3, y must equal 3, okay? If any of these problems are not balanced out, you won't be able to solve the problem. So you need to make sure that this side is 10, this side is 10. And when you guys are working right here, you kind of narrow it down so you're just looking at this problem so that this side plus this side equals 10 together, okay? Let's go ahead and write an equation, okay? Let's go ahead and write first the associative property. So remember, the associative property is when you can group with or without parentheses. So I'm going to look at this first hanger. I'm going to go ahead and write z plus x plus z, because that's this side, plus y plus z, so that would be the other side, equals this side, z plus z plus z plus z plus z, okay? Now I can go ahead and write this using, or combining the like terms, okay? So I'm gonna take away the parentheses. When we combine the like terms, I'm gonna take away the parentheses. So remember, we're gonna look at just this side. This side is gonna stay the same, okay? Just this side. I have 1, 2, 3 z's. So I'm gonna go ahead and put z plus z plus z. Now I'm gonna add the x's. How many x's do I have? 1 plus x. Oops, that's an plus x, and then I have 1y plus y equals, and remember the other side stays the same, plus z plus z plus z plus z plus z, okay? Now we can go ahead and remember when we have repeated addition, so we have numbers or variables that repeat, we can go ahead and write this as a multiplication problem instead of repeated addition. So we're gonna go ahead and now write this as a multiplication problem. So if you guys look, how many z's do we have? We have 1, 2, 3. I'm gonna go ahead and write this 3 times z plus x plus y equals z, or 5, because I have 5 right here, times z, okay? Now I can go ahead and take it a step further. Remember, our coefficient is just a simpler way to show multiplying when we're multiplying with a variable. So right here, we're gonna do 3z plus x plus y equals 5z, okay?